The Middle East is once again on the brink of conflict, with the potential for significant escalation. Following the recent assassination of a Hamas leader on Iranian soil, many are questioning how Iran will respond and the broader implications for the region. Firstly, Iran finds itself in a precarious position. In the new Islamic world, Iran must respond to this provocation, but the nature of this response remains uncertain. Will it be a direct military action, or a more calculated, temporary measure designed to avoid further escalation from Israel? It's essential to understand that Iran's options are limited. A significant retaliation could provoke a severe response from Israel, potentially jeopardizing Iran's nuclear program, military infrastructure, and even the regime's stability. Therefore, Iran might opt for a show of force rather than a full-scale military retaliation. The situation is further complicated by the fact that most Arab states, with the notable exception of Qatar, welcomed the elimination of the Hamas political leader. This person, while influential, did not have substantial military control over Hamas. For Israel, this action can be seen as a strategic move to neutralize a potential threat, while leaving other key figures like Yahya Sinwar, Hamas's military commander in Gaza, still in play. However, the Middle East is not governed solely by rational actors. There is an underlying irrational dynamic that can lead to unexpected escalations. Historically, conflicts often spiral out of control, influenced by various autonomous movements within the region. Radical elements could seize this opportunity to push for a broader conflict with Israel. Moreover, Israel's recent successful operation indicates a hardline stance, closing the door on peace processes advocated by international players, including the Biden administration. Israel's focus is not on a two-state solution, but on maintaining security and neutralizing threats. Figures like Ismail Haniyeh, who have negotiated with multiple international actors, are sidelined in this aggressive strategy. In conclusion, the current geopolitical landscape in the Middle East is fraught with danger. Iran's response to the assassination of a Hamas leader will be pivotal. Whether it opts for a restrained reaction or escalates the situation could determine the region's stability in the coming months. While rational strategies might prevail, the unpredictable nature of regional dynamics means that the threat of a broader conflict remains ever present. I had a single curiosity. Do you believe a more radical conflict with Hezbollah will emerge between Israel and the group from southern Lebanon? Or will the situation remain as it is today? Hezbollah likely has no interest in initiating a war with Israel due to the severe retaliation that would follow. The south of Lebanon is already suffering from an economic crisis. Even though Hezbollah possesses an impressive arsenal that could surpass Israeli anti-air defenses, Israel would still benefit from the support of the US and other Western powers, such as those present in France and the UK. Thus, I don't see this option as likely. On the other hand, Israel may seize this moment to enforce UN Security Council Resolution 1701 from 2006, which mandates that Hezbollah must keep its troops north of the Litani River. This river, a significant Mediterranean waterway, lies 29 kilometers from the Israeli border. Israel needs to secure the Golan Heights and especially northern Galilee, where 120,000 Israeli citizens have been evacuated to hotels in the south, including those in Rosh HaNikra. Economic activity in the north has halted, and agricultural fields have been destroyed by Hezbollah's ongoing firebomb attacks. Thus, Israel aims to secure these areas and push Hezbollah away from its borders. We've seen increasing tensions recently, with Iranians threatening reprisals against Israel. Additionally, today we're observing images from the assassination of a Hamas political leader. This situation raises the question: are we closer to war, or will the UN maintain the current status quo? For a general war to erupt, we need to consider a scenario where Iran, leveraging its Middle Eastern influence, reaches Israel's border. In recent years, Iran has acted through Hezbollah, avoiding direct land operations. However, Iran's limited air force and outdated aircraft, combined with insufficient naval maneuverability due to US and allied control, complicate their strategy. Furthermore, any Iranian ground force would need to pass through Iraq, and the connection between Iraq and Iran remains unstable. Considering these factors, while the tensions are palpable, a full-scale war seems unlikely unless there's a significant escalation from multiple fronts. about Middle Eastern geopolitics, a significant point has been raised. Iraq potentially opening its borders to allow important military forces to pass into Iran. This move, which could see forces transitioning from Iraq to Syria, is fraught with complexity, particularly due to the anti-Iranian militias involved in the Syrian civil war. For Iran, the strategic implications of such a maneuver are daunting. The scenario paints a challenging picture for Iran if it were to consider this route. The broader context involves Hezbollah's potential offensive actions, seemingly awaiting the political green light from Israeli Prime Minister Netanyahu. Netanyahu's authorization would trigger a well-prepared plan, developed by Israeli generals, to launch a ground operation in Gaza. This scenario underscores the importance of monitoring developments on two key fronts, Gaza and Hezbollah. At the Lebanese border, an important force is poised outside Gaza, with another significant contingent positioned centrally in Israel. This arrangement likely serves as a strategic reserve for any contingencies. There's confidence that plans for an offensive in southern Lebanon are in place, awaiting only a serious provocation. Netanyahu's presentation of this offensive to both the international community and the Israeli public hinges on Hezbollah's aggressive actions. It's not just about sporadic attacks, but a comprehensive assault involving cadets, drones, artillery, and potentially ground incursions. The protection of Israel's integrity and civilian lives is paramount. When Hezbollah initiates an attack, the Israeli public, despite any political divisions, generally supports military measures to address such threats. We must consider the broader implications of Hezbollah's attacks, especially concerning Iran. Any proxy engagement involving Hezbollah would lead to substantial consequences. Hezbollah is a crucial force for exerting indirect control over the Middle Eastern geopolitical landscape. In conclusion, the interplay between Iraq's potential border policy, Iran's strategic calculations, and Hezbollah's military actions creates a complex and volatile situation in the region. It's essential to keep a close eye on these developments and understand their far-reaching implications. In recent developments, the geopolitical landscape in the Middle East remains tense, with a focus on the potential conflict involving Israel and Hezbollah. As we analyze the situation, it's important to consider the complexities and the potential outcomes of such a confrontation. Israel, a nation known for its swift and strategic military responses, has recently been preparing for a scenario that could involve simultaneous engagements on multiple fronts. The situation with Hezbollah in southern Lebanon presents a unique challenge. Hezbollah, a well-equipped and trained militant group, poses a significant threat not only to Israel but also to the stability of Lebanon itself. The group's strength lies in its numbers and preparation. With approximately 300,000 members, Hezbollah is considerably more formidable than Hamas, and its operations are deeply entrenched in Lebanese territory. However, Israel has demonstrated its military prowess in previous conflicts, mobilizing hundreds of thousands of reservists in mere hours and showcasing its capability to respond to threats both quickly and effectively. Despite the severity of the situation, it's important to note that Israel is not solely focused on the northern front. The country's military strategy also encompasses potential actions in Gaza, highlighting its preparedness to handle conflicts on multiple fronts simultaneously. Public opinion is divided on whether Israel will be able to neutralize the threat posed by Hezbollah. On one hand, there is a desire for the elimination of this threat to bring stability to Lebanon. On the other hand, the cost of such an operation, in terms of both military and civilian casualties, cannot be overlooked. The current situation suggests that Israel's military strategy is well calibrated, with comprehensive action plans ready to be executed if necessary. The recent mobilization of reservist units, experienced in combat, further solidifies Israel's position as a formidable force in the region. Hezbollah, despite its capabilities, faces a well-prepared opponent. Israel's air force, missile systems, and artillery are some of the most advanced in the world, capable of launching a multi-pronged attack that could significantly weaken Hezbollah's stronghold in southern Lebanon. As tensions continue to simmer, the question remains: will this conflict escalate into a full-scale war, or will diplomacy find a way to de-escalate the situation? Only time will tell, but one thing is certain: Israel is prepared, and the world is watching closely.